to see you. I'm Emmanuel Gatera. I'm an Anglican minister in Rwanda. And I'm now a student, a Doctor of Ministry student at St. Stephen College here in Edmonton. Every year I come for 2 or 3 months for courses. Then I go back to Rwanda. I do my ministry and then come back the next year. That's how I've been pursuing my training. And this training is about trauma counseling. Each and everyone here, I'm sure, has heard about what happened in Rwanda in 1994. I won't dwell on that. It's very emotional. There are so many books that gives many reasons and facts why, what happened, and so on. So, but here I just want to give some reflection about genocide. How should we behave as human beings towards genocide? As someone who knows firsthand the devastation of genocide, I'm here both to remember my own loss and to join with those who have suffered from the hateful cruelty of others. The purpose of a memorial is to remember intentionally, to prevent us from forgetting. We remember the past genocides, the genocide against Armenians just after World War I, the Holocaust in the World War II, the genocide against the Tutsi, 1994, and even what some people call genocide in Darfur in Sudan, and the violence in Syria. We come to honor and grieve for those who we have lost. However, we do not remember the past solely for its own sake, but also for the future. We refuse to forget so that we find in history the warnings that will protect our future. We also gather together in our common humanity in order to love, to support, and to guide each other. Thank you for coming. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for loving. I've come to speak to you about the tragedies in Rwanda. The 1994 genocide came following decades of ethnic tensions that were caused largely by political ploys from what I would call imperialistic European nations that had come to colonize and divide, to rule. Beginning in 1959, a series of sporadic violent outbursts threatened my people. They occurred in 1959, 63, 69, 72, 1992, 93, and they eventually culminated in 1994 genocide. In 1963, I myself was forced to flee at the age of 5 when my family was attacked in the middle of the night. And I spent much of my childhood in refugee camps. My wife's family also suffered greatly throughout the following years, we lost many friends and relatives. Yet in many ways, we are lucky she and my children miraculously escaped death several times, wherever we were in exile. Apart from God's protection, none of us would have survived. More than 1 million others were not so fortunate. 18 years later, my country still bears the wounds of the genocide. While losing nearly 10,000 lives over the decades and nearly 1 million more in 1994 seems a staggering statistics, it is even more overwhelming when you realize that each of these people was someone's grandchild, parent, or baby. The personal devastation to families and individuals is beyond words. Furthermore, the genocide also robbed our culture of innocence. With so many participating in the violence, even the children feel the guilt of their parents' sins. Those not burdened with shame often share in the parents' grief and are vicariously traumatized. The wounds are being passed down from generation to generation. My country and my people have suffered tremendously. It is for this reason that me and 4 other friends founded what we call YEGO. YEGO is Youth Empowered for Godly Opportunities. This is an organization to provide counseling to the traumatized youth, but also to address some of their needs, such as education. At the end of my speech, I will introduce you to my sister there, Chris, who is body member of YEGO Canada, who will speak briefly, just 1 or 2 minutes, to let you know what we are doing and how whoever would want to partner with us, what he can do or she can do. And then we have also got some rituals. Yet as we remember the past and face the present, we do not do so in order to become demoralized or to give up. Rather, in creating a memorial, in intentionally remembering, we come together to look forward. Each story becomes part of something greater, and the memorial itself becomes a symbol to us all. It communicates to each of us personally, and each of us as a person connects to the larger human story. As Henry Newell said, all men are one at the wellspring of joy and pain. Indeed, we are not alone. Surely the human story is filled with evil, suffering, and tragedy, and we too are now participants in that story. We stand in the company of the hated, oppressed, abused, and victimized. Still, we are not only participants in the story of suffering, but also in a divine story. This is the story of forgiveness, reconciliation, and restoration. Former Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa described this process, saying, "Forgiving is not forgetting. It is actually remembering. Remembering and not using your right to hit back. It is a second chance for a new beginning." And the remembering The remembering part is particularly important, especially if you don't want to repeat what has happened. Forgiveness is not ignoring what has happened. It is about remembering it and demanding justice instead of simply seeking personal revenge. It is about refusing to create more death and destruction. It is about refusing to write another passage in the human history of suffering and adding to the number of victims in the world. In doing so, we restore our own humanity and the humanity of those around us. We chose to participate in the divine story of God's restoration. As we take time together to remember the past genocide and consider those that are presently occurring in the world, Syria, Darfur, may we intentionally grieve for those who perished, mourn the loss of innocence, and abhor the evil wickedness before use. May we look on it as a warning, reminding us of what we are capable of doing when we succumb to hatred, ignoring both humanity and the humanity of others. May we learn to forgive and reconcile, not because we have not been wounded or harmed, but because we refuse to be owned by our oppressors. May we triumph over our past, create better futures for ourselves, for our children, and for humanity.